I want to introduce a new segment to the Fight Guys,
Mm-hmm.
because generally what we do in round 3 is we like to go into the community, hear what people are saying, either on any of our channels where you can watch us. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're watching us on Fight TV, we urge you to definitely reach out, comment, talk to us. We want to respond, right? So in the spirit of that, I'm going to start this today. It's called Ask the Fight Guys. So use the hashtag Ask the Fight Guys. Preferably on Twitter. If you do it on Twitter, you see both of our handles on the screen. Use the hashtag Ask the Fight Guys. We will respond to you in show. Yeah, obviously, if there's a lot of stuff that's coming through, we'll have to pick and sift through. If you've seen it on YouTube, use it there. Ask the Fight Guys in your comments. We'd love to talk to you. But I gotta say, Peter, we got some stuff already, that's being said now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna start off with you. I'm gonna let you do your thing here, because we got a comment from someone. His name is Gester, I think is how you want to say it. So he watched the video that we had. We broke it out into individual segments so you can kind of hone in on what some people were saying. But we had a video. Teofimo Jr. talks Vasyl Lomachenko ducking him and ring rust, right? So we talked about that when we had Teofimo on the show. And Gester's comment was, this guy Kahn is a lying weasel. So I'm going to ask the lying weasel.
Sure.
himself.
So what was his name again?
Gester.
More like Jester, because he sounds like a joke. Okay.
Jester. Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, he's a clown. So we'll call him Jester, right?
Yes.
This guy Kahn is a lying weasel. Okay. I would imagine this is a Conor McGregor fan, right? That probably doesn't even watch boxing, because he's using that lying weasel line about Steven Espinoza. Okay. Yeah. So that's already like, wasn't that if that's the best you got, right? So here's the thing, dude. First and foremost, why in the world would Lomachenko at 135 pounds, who talks about going back down to 130, call his dream matchup against a retired 41-year-old 147 pounder? I don't even understand what the dream matchup is. What Floyd's retired. So like my dream matchup is against Joe Louis. Is dead. I don't understand. Like, I'm not following. Like, so yeah, when you start mentioning people in this game that are not even possibilities, okay, it's because you don't want to fight the guy that you're supposed to be fighting. There should be no other names coming out of Lomachenko's dream matchup right now. Should be called Teofimo Lopez. That should be his dream matchup. His dream matchup should not be a retired 41-year-old Floyd Mayweather Jr., who's 2 weight classes above him. His dream matchup should be the guy standing in his way of becoming the undisputed lightweight champion of the world. So I'm not even sure the lying part. I mean,
I didn't kind of get it. I didn't get it. He said, because he did respond. He said, nope, he's a liar. You can watch. Because I'm gonna say, I commented. I said, actually, he's a pretty stand-up dude with more than 20 years.
Because you like me.
Yeah. Not really, but I gotta still tell the truth.
Right.
With more than 20 years of experience in this sport, right? And I still appreciate you watching. So we're gonna tell you what we're gonna tell you, but we still appreciate you watching for sure. But
yeah, and you're a lying weasel.
Yeah, hey, I've been called worse. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about him.
Okay. He says, if you watch the interview where Loma was talking about Floyd, he was answering like a hypothetical question about which fighter from history. But what I want to say to Jester is you're kind of twisting the way the comment was delivered, because Lomachenko spoke about that fight as if it was something that was going to take place in this virtual arena that Floyd is building with the DNA of fighters or whatever it is that he's doing. He didn't speak about it that way. Lomachenko spoke about it in why not? Let's do that fight. Right. And you know why he did that is because he was throwing it out there.
It's called bait, baby.
Exactly, because he knows Floyd flirts with the idea of coming back. Right. And he also probably knows that Floyd might choose to fight him. That might be something that he would do because he's smaller. And if Floyd was going to take any type of quote unquote risk, it would be against somebody who has a name, who he knows also doesn't pose, or he would think doesn't pose a threat. So I think there's a little bit more validity to the statement than what Jester is leading on. And
one more thing. By the time Lomachenko were to fight Teofimo Lopez, he'll have been inactive for over a year. He probably would rather roll the dice, make a lot more money, fight a guy like Floyd Mayweather Jr., who's also been quite inactive as well, and take that risk because he always has that built-in excuse. Oh, well, you know, he's too big. Yeah, I took a shot. He's too big. And remember, Lomachenko's already lost. So, you know, and he wouldn't give him the rematch.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't think, listen, I stand by what I'm telling you. I don't think he wants to fight Teofimo Lopez. I don't think it's a fight he wants. I think that when he sprinkles these things out there, it's because he might be, you know, throwing out a little hope.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, and I'm sure I'm sure Peter probably feels the same way.
Listen, disagree with me, but if you're going to call me a lying weasel, then I'm going to have to let you know a few things.
You got to know a few things. Don't get us wrong. I believe we both think that Lomachenko is a phenomenal fighter.
Of course,
so nobody's trying to say that Lomachenko's not a great fighter.
Listen, he's the odds-on favorite to beat Lopez. Maybe he beats him. But it's not even the point. That's not the point of this comment.
It's not the point. The point is he is going to be experiencing quite a bit of ring rust. He's significantly older, and he has been evasive when talking about Teofimo Lopez. It's really just that simple.
Yeah.
It's really just that simple. So you can say what you want, but Peter, you know what we did?
What do we do?
I'm going to tell you something, Jester. While your comment was a little crazy and coloring outside of the lines, I'm going to give you credit. You helped create a new segment.
Yeah, exactly.
On this show. And
he could be the sponsor. Thank you, by the way.
Peter, what's the name of the segment that he created? What just happened?
I mean, ask the fight guys.
Well, no. Jester, you just got TKO'd.
Oh, yeah, you got TKO'd.
You just got TKO'd.
Just got waved off. Sorry about that.
It's waved off. They waved off the count. They waved off the count. You were swinging and missing, and you got caught.
Yeah,
you got swinging and missing, you got caught. Now, but Peter's not the only object of some sort of reckless comment. So I had someone, I got to remember his name, the pronunciation, the way his name looks, it just looks like, it reminds me of Neapolitan ice cream, but that's not his name. But the gentleman took a shot.
What's his name? God forbid anyone ever uses their real names on here.
Oh, actually, you know, the funny thing of it was this particular gentleman looked as though he did actually use his real name. His name is Robert Napolitano. Napolitano, probably.
Okay.
And so he says, Brian Mazique, that would be this particular brown person, is no expert on MMA. McGregor made $2 million for his fight against Cerrone. Jones makes approximately $500,000 per fight.
Approximately.
He says that I'm stuttering over my words and I am inventing some nonsense. Well, Bob.
Nappy.
Bob, first and foremost, the money that you're quoting is what is reported to the commissions for the purse.
Yeah, newsflash.
And that information is never all-inclusive when talking about how much a fighter earns. With the UFC, there are so many other factors, and we're just talking about the UFC because it's the same way in boxing. But in UFC, there's also the Reebok sponsorship deal, and depending on your tenure, you get a piece of that. There's also their new variation of pay-per-view points, which, because they're not in a traditional pay-per-view format anymore, they still have a variation of that. And next week, I'm hoping to have Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson on, and he wants to explain to me how the pay-per-view points work for the UFC. And I'm going to see if I can get him to talk about that again for this particular show, so that you, Bob, and anyone else who questions, how, or wants to know how you calculate how much a fighter makes per fight, will then be educated. And I'm going to see
if
we can get Demetrius Johnson to speak straight through it without stumbling over his words.
So, but I have a question for you.
Him more.
So, did you say is he arguing that McGregor got paid more or less, and that Jones got paid more or less? What was he arguing?
So he was saying essentially that Jones only, the McGregor only made $2 million
versus.
We don't know exactly what he made, because he came out initially and
versus what the initial idea of what he made, which was what,
15 million. That's right. The 15 to 20 million.
Yeah. So Bob doesn't really understand that. Works. Yeah. So Bob, listen to me. I'm gonna talk low here. Okay. Because the commissions take taxes, right? A lot of fighters will put less money on their purses, including the promoter, so that this way they don't get hit with a bigger tax and they'll get a second check. So just letting you know. So anyway, basically, we can revisit this when we have someone that can also talk about it. But I don't think this is, remember what's reported, right, and what guys make are two different things.
Right. So Bob, it's okay. Again, Bob, we appreciate you watching, but guess what? You just got TKO.
TKO, baby.
You're swinging and you're missing and you got caught.
Yeah.
So
come with some better stuff. Seriously,
better, man. Come on,
a little bit more educated.
Ask the fight guys, and we're not gonna TKO everybody. Just Bob.
Hey, if you leave a good comment or you challenge us and you're right, we'll tell
you. We'll say, man,
Brian, I'll tell you, we've been TKO.
Awesome.
But here's the thing: if you're gonna come at us and you're gonna call us a lying weasel,
yes,
or you're gonna challenge factual information, just make sure you have the facts.